Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and get ready for math menu in small group. So I'm going to put the timer for 30 minutes for math menu in small group. For those of you that are going to be in small group, your name is on the board for group 1. So if I can have group 1 to please just go to the back table with only a pencil. Group 1, if your name is for group 1, please go to the back table with only a pencil. Everyone else, we're working on math menu. Alright, I'm going to set the timer. Those of you that are on the list to be in small group need to be at the back. Those of you who are not should be working on math menu. This is what we're working on, guys. Remember to use your journal if you have any questions. Remember to use your journals if you have any questions. And I also need... Anissa, can you come on do the homework for me? I need you to do math menu. Working on this. This is what we're working on, guys. Construction. Can you just get all the construction paper for me? Over there. It's over there. It's over there. So did you check all the buckets? Guys, you have to learn how to do stuff on your own. I'm not estimating. Okay. All right, math menu time. I don't want any talking. Where's Pancho? No, you need to come to small group. And I'm going to have a word with you when I'm finished too. Because you're the only one that's not following instructions. All you guys need to make sure you have a pencil. Alright guys, so I'm going to give each of you a sheet of paper. And we're just going to work a few problems, just a few things that you may have had a little trouble with. We're going to work a few problems, and that's it. It's probably only going to take us about 10 minutes, okay? So what we're looking at right now is area. Why can you multiply to find the area of a rectangle? So what do we know about rectangles already? What do we know about rectangles, Justin?
Each set
they have two sets of equal what? Equal sides. So that's what we know about rectangles, is that they have two sets of equal sides. So do me a favor, on your paper, go ahead and draw your rectangle. Draw a rectangle. Right at the top. So looking at your rectangle, if I told you that the first side at the top, if the length of this side was 4, then we automatically know the other side is 4. And then if I tell you the length of this side is 2, then we automatically know the length of the other side is 2 as well. But we're not finding perimeter. I know we were talking about perimeter today, but we're not talking about perimeter. So whenever we're doing area, what is the formula? What is the formula for area? Somebody, Pancho, what's the formula for area?
Width times width.
That's exactly right. So area equals length times width. And we already know that, right? So look at the triangle that I just had you draw. I'm sorry, the rectangle that I just had you draw. What is the length? What is the length? So if area equals length times width, what would you put for length? What is the length? What is the length, Romina? Go ahead and put that. And what is the width? What is the width, Justin? What's the width? It's 2. So if I was calculating the area and I needed to multiply the width times the length, what numbers am I multiplying? 4 times 2, which is what? So that tells me that the area of this figure is 8, this rectangle. So if I wanted to count, because remember when we said that we can find area 2 ways, we can either find it by multiply the length and the width, or we can count the squares. So we can go ahead and draw some squares. We can draw 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. And then we have 2 rows. 4 columns and 2 rows. Now if I were to count all of these squares, what would that equal to? 8. So just a refresher, when we find area, we can either count the unit squares or we can multiply the length times the width. On the problems that we're working with, most of them are going to have unit squares, so you'll have the option of if you want to multiply or if you want to count, okay? So this is the first problem that we're going to look at. This is the first problem we're going to look at. It says find the area of the rectangle in the following ways. So the first way we're going to do is we're going to look at the rows. Look at that figure. How many rows does it have? Not columns. Remember, columns are up and down. These are our rows. How many rows?
3.
How many rows?
3.
Remember, rows go side to side. So, and then what about the columns? Our columns go up and down. How many columns is that? Look, count it. How many columns?
10. 8.
Count it again. 9. So we can put 9 here, and we can put 3 here.
It's backwards.
So 3 rows of 9. So there, we could do it either way. We can multiply. We can do repeated addition. If there is 3 rows of 9, then what would I put here?
3.
No.
9.
Okay.
9.
Okay.
9.
And what does that equal?
I know.
What?
27.
Good. 27. Good. So the repeated addition is the same thing as multiplication, right? That's just another way to multiply. So what's a multiplication fact that you can use for this? Do you know, Romina? What? What's the fact that I could use to represent this number? Multiplying what? 9 times 3. All right, what do you guys think? Do you agree with that?
Yes.
9 times 3 is what?
27. The answer is 27.
So look at all the different ways we found the area. We counted our columns and rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm sorry, we counted our unit squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. That takes a long time, right? So it's easier to do rows. We have 3 rows of 9. So we can do our repeated addition. 9 plus 9 plus 9. Or the quickest way is to do our multiplication fact, which is 9 times 3 is 27. So what is the area of this rectangle?
27.
What's the area? What's the area?
27. For you. 27. Square.
Any questions about this? Good. All right, we're gonna try one more. We are gonna do one more. All right, let's look at the next one. Find the area of the rectangle. Each unit square is 1 square foot. So this one, what are those different ways that we found the area?
Rows, columns,
What else?
and counting.
Counting the, and what else? Repeated addition.
Multiplication.
So I want you guys to use your own strategy. What way you want to use to find the area of this figure. And remember, whenever we write area, we're going to put area equals. And using this illustration, tell me what your area is.
Wait, no.
You need to count. How do you know?
I use
Okay, how many? How many? And so you multiplied 4 times 5, and it gave you 20. So if you were to count every one of these square units, would it equal 20? Let's see. What did you get, Pancho? What did you get? I agree. I agree. All right, so you guys, these were just our openers. So I have one more that's going to be a little more challenging. That was just our opener. So if you can do these two, you're definitely going to be able to do this one, believe me. It's just a little more challenging. Got a lot of words on here, so we're going to read this together. Can everybody see? It says, I'm going to read it out and you guys just follow along with me. A tile company tiled a wall using square tiles. A mural is painted in the center. The drawing shows the design. The area of each tile used is 1 square foot. Select the problem that can be solved using the drawing. Okay. So first, what I would like to do is I would like to know what is the area of this whole figure. So what is my length? What's the length? What's the length? What's the length? What's the width?
10.
And let's look at the mural. What's the area of the actual mural?
3.
Times what?
Now 8.
So now let's look at our answer choices. A wall is tiled using yellow tiles and hand-painted tiles. How much would it cost to have the same company tile a different wall? Can we use this drawing to kind of figure that question out?
Yes.
How? Tell me how.
It's like
You're using 2 different kinds. So it's saying you have a wall. Go ahead.
It might be like you using the same thing, but maybe we using 2 different colors.
Did you guys see what Pancho said? So it's kind of the same thing. If you have a wall, a blank wall, and you're painting a mural, that means you're only using part of the rectangle. So this question actually says the same thing. They're painting a wall. Some tiles they're using as yellow, some they're using hand painted. So that's a possible question. So if we're not sure if that's the answer or not, what we're gonna do with that one?
Put a question mark.
Put a question mark. Let's look at the second one. A wall is tiled using yellow tiles and hand painted tiles. How long did it take the tile company to finish the wall? Will we use this to figure out how long it took them to finish it? Because it didn't even tell us when did they start. So how would we know how long it took them? Just by looking at this little picture, that's not going to tell us any information. What do you think we should do to B?
Cross it off.
I agree. All right, look at C. A wall is tiled using yellow tiles and hand-painted tiles. How many more square feet of yellow tiles were used than there were of painted tiles? Can we solve that using the picture? Because if it wants to know how many more did you use of this kind than this kind, can't we just count to see which one has the greatest area? So that's another one that we could use. Let's look at the last one. A wall tile is tiled using yellow tiles and hand-painted tiles. how many more square feet of wall are untiled than square feet of tiles that are tiled? So we can definitely use that one to solve the question. So we're just trying to find the best one that we can use to solve, with the best question that will be used to solve using this picture. Which one do you guys think? A, B, C, or D? Yeah.
What? No.
Choose an answer and write it down for me. What do you think? Read it over if you want. So what do you guys think about area? It's not so hard, right? Alright. One more.
Yay! I got it.
And then we have one more thing to look at. So let's look. This one is going to, with this one, you're actually going to need to do some multiplication. So I'm going to sit this one here, and I'm going to see if you guys can figure this one out on your own, okay? I'm going to read it out. It says, Brianna is coloring a bookmark. Each unit square is 1 square inch. Which multiplication equation can be used to find the area of the bookmark?
So that's the picture.
She's coloring her bookmark in just different color squares. What is the area of the bookmark? Look at your multiplication facts. Would it be 2 times 2 equals 4? Write your answer choice. Alright, you guys ready? What did you get? Good. What'd you get? Good. What'd you get? Good. You guys are experts at this. Good job. I appreciate it. We still have a little more time because I wanted to do about 10 minutes with each group. So we have about 3 minutes left. So let's start on this one. This is also in our area unit. So we're still talking about area, but these are some just different types of questions. And since we still have more time, let's do it. So, because remember, this question was, why can you multiply to find the area? And we found out that if you multiply the length and the width, it would give you the area, correct? So why can you multiply to find the area of a rectangle?
Because if you use the length and width, it will give you the area.
And that's a lot easier than counting all those squares, right? Which was easier, counting all those squares or doing multiplication?
Multiplication.
Yep, so you just had to look at your columns and rows.
Whenever I did divide it, it's something. Whenever I divided each one, before I had the time when I'd have to answer, I divided.
Yes, because division is the inverse or opposite operation. So the next one we're going to work on is, how can you break apart a figure to find the area? So last week we also talked about composite figures. That means when you take 2 different figures and put them together. So I know it sounds like it's a little difficult, but we were doing it and you guys were doing okay. So it's not really all that difficult. Let me show you. So all we're doing is we're putting together 2 different figures and finding the area separately and then putting them together to find the total area, right? That's when we were doing the garage and the hallway and all that. Yeah. So look, it's telling us select first. They gave us 2 figures. Look, I want you guys to look. First they gave us 2 figures, right? And then they told us to select the figure with a line that breaks apart those 2 figures into 2. So if I chose this one, would that break this apart into a triangle? I'm sorry, a rectangle and a square? If I chose A?
It's B.
We're trying to make a rectangle and a square.
Yeah.
So if you cut this line, look at the figure that you're creating.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Okay? So we're finding the area the same way we did the last time. We're multiplying our length times our width, but we're finding the area of each one individually, and then we're gonna put them together to find the area of them together. Okay? Sounds easy, right? So let's look at rectangle. Let's look at rectangle 1. So rectangle 1, this is rectangle 1. You guys should be able to look at this. What is the area of rectangle 1? Justin?
Rectangle 1?
Yep.
Oh, no.
This is rectangle 1. What's the area?
6.
6. It's not a square. Thank you, Pancho. It's not a square because it doesn't have all 4 equal sides. So this is actually 2 different rectangles. The first rectangle, the area is
6.
Now what's the second rectangle? What's the area? So if the top, let's check. 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 times 6 is 3 times 6 is 36.
18. It's 18.
It's 18.
6 times 6.
3 times 6. So we know that look what it's telling us. So rectangle 1, we multiplied and we found out that the area was 6. Rectangle 2, we found out the area was 18. So now to find the total area, what do we need to do with those figures? Add them up.
Which is 6.
Do this. You need to do your math on your paper. 6 plus 18.
6 times 3.
Well, that was how we found. No, remember we found each one separately. We found our first one. The area of the first one was 6. The area of the second one was 18. Now we have to put them together to find the total area.
6 plus 18.
It's gonna give us what?
24.
So in order to tell me if you guys are right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just count all the squares.
Okay.
What did you get? What did you get? What did you get?
I didn't get it yet. I'm still.
Come on, keep going. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Success. How easy is that? You guys got it. So that's it. Great job. No, we can't do any more. Great job, guys. So you guys are going to go back to math menu and then have group 2 come up. All right, let me get group 2, please. Group 2. Claudia, Isabel, Jacob, Preston. Oh. Yes. I need group 2, please. Claudia, Isabel, Jacob, Preston. So we're just doing a little review, guys, about when we're doing area of a figure, okay? So our first question that we're going to answer today in small group is, why can you multiply to find the area of a rectangle? So we all remember what the formula for area is, right? What's the formula for area? Area equals
length times width.
Length times width. Awesome. So look at this question. It's saying, why can you multiply to find the area? Maybe because the formula tells us to multiply, right? But remember, when we were working on it, there were 2 different ways that we found the area. We multiplied the length and the width, and we also did what to the square units. In order to find the area, I can multiply the length and the width, and I can also just do what, Preston? Count all the square units. Okay. We can also count all the square units, right? So let's look. For our first problem, we're going to find the area of the rectangle. In order to find the area, we need the length times the width, or the columns and the rows, which we've already talked about. These are our columns. These are our rows. So how many columns do we have? Now columns go up and down, remember? So let's, no, columns go up and down. So we have 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So we have 9. Now we're going to look at our rows. Rows go across. 1,
2, 3.
So in order to find the area, what do we need to do to that 9 and 3? What do you think?
9 times 3.
And what is 9 times 3?
9 times 3 is 27.
Okay, so I see a couple of you guys are like, oh my goodness, we're doing 9s. So I know you guys have trouble with your 9s, so that's why I ask you that. Because whenever we're doing this, you don't have to multiply. Not to start off, because if you have 1, 2, 3 rows of 9, that means you have 1, 2, 3 9s, right? So can we do repeated addition? If I'm having trouble multiplying 9 times 3, I could just put 9 how many times? And just add it, right? 9 plus 9 plus 9 is the same as
27.
what, Claudia?
27.
9 times 3 is what?
27.
So I'm just showing you this to let you know that I know a lot of you are not on your multiplication fact 9s yet, or you're not fluent with it yet, and that's okay, because especially when we're working with small numbers like this, you need to make sure that you're doing repeated addition. So we're doing repeated addition. Or, what's another way we can do it without multiplying at all? Just count up all the square units, right? So, if I did repeated addition, 9 plus 9 plus 9 and got 27, and I did multiplication, 9 times 3 and got 27, if I counted all these square units, would that give me 27? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So I'm showing you this because if all else fails, if you have trouble doing your repeated addition, if you have trouble doing your multiplication fact, you can always just count your unit squares, right? So if I had told you to find the area of this rectangle, what would it be? What would it be, Jacob? Do we all agree with that? Okay. So I'm working these out with you because I'm going to give you one to do on your own. So now we're going to find the area of the rectangle. Each unit square is 1 square foot. Find the area of the rectangle. Now you can use whichever strategy you like. You can multiply the length times the width. You can do repeated addition. Or you can just count the unit squares. Once you have the answer, write it down for me. Go ahead. You guys are too loud for math menu. So go ahead and write it down for me. Check your math, Jacob. Remember what I said? Always, if all that failed, if you want to double check and make sure that your answer is correct and your multiplication is correct, count your square units. Thank you. Thank you. Try it again, Jacob. Okay. Exactly. So do you guys see how everything we do is kind of related? Awesome, awesome. Awesome. That's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 20. And if I wanted to double check to make sure I was correct, I'm just gonna count them all. Or, oh, I like Jacob. His is quicker. Skip count by 5. 5, 10, 15, 20. Or if you're still not sure, you want to do a triple check to make sure it's right, then you just count all the square units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So the area of the figure is 20 square feet. How easy is that?
How I got it.
Good. Alright, our time is up. So tomorrow, Monday, when we do small group, I'm going to start off with you guys, okay? And then we'll finish the last couple problems. But good job. Go ahead and reset that for me. Wait. Anything you guys want to add? Anything? Okay. So coming from this small group, what do you think? You have anything? You have any questions, comments, recommendations? Nothing? Yes.
Do we put this in?
So I like what Isabel said. She said, I may need to work on my multiplication facts. So that's a good observation.
Me too, because
all right.
yesterday I was on my these and I kind of like did put together.
Good. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, everybody, go ahead and start cleaning up. It's time to get ready for dismissal. I don't need anyone walking up to me. I need everyone to clean up and get ready for dismissal.
Okay.